What is the one thing that comes to mind when thinking about Tim Burton's films? Eccentric, unconventional, colorful, whimsical, dark, strange, or gothic? These certainly are the trademarks in many of Tim Burton's films. But the stories behind the fantastical visions are much more personal and real. My name is Rachelle Crouse, and for this assignment in public speaking at Full Sail University, I will be going over some of the work of visionary director Tim Burton. Tim Burton stands out from other directors in terms of vision, style, storytelling, and quirky themed movies. What's so different in his direction than any other directors is that there's so much eccentric and colorful characters in his films, like Edward Scissorhands, Big Fish, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, and Ed Wood.
For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price.
After breaking away from the traditional animated Disney movies like The Fox and the Hound and The Black Cauldron, animator Tim Burton found his artistic freedom by animating his stop-motion short film, Vincent. The vision of the film was shot in black and white and was inspired by German expressionist films from the 1920s, such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. The look of the film would later inspire Tim Burton in the movie Ed Wood, which was also shot in black and white, a rare occasion in Tim Burton movies. The number one film that comes to mind for many people on their favorite Tim Burton movie is Edward Scissorhands. The concept of the film was inspired by Tim Burton's drawing he did as a teenager growing up in the suburbs of Burbank, California.
It first started out of just those very simple teenage impulses of the feeling of wanting to touch and wanting to communicate but not being able to.
It's one of the most personal films by Tim Burton and the one closest to his heart. One of the reasons why the movie has become one of the most popular is because many people can relate to the main character of Edward. In most themes, in all of his movies, the main character feels isolated from other people. It's certainly one of Tim Burton's best films to date. After the success of Edward Scissorhands and blockbusters Batman and Batman Returns, Tim Burton returns to his Disney animated roots to bring The Nightmare Before Christmas. Even though it was directed by Henry Selick, it was truly under the guidance of Tim Burton with his vision, story, and characters. And with the help of Danny Elfman's musical score and lyrics, The Nightmare Before Christmas has since become one of the most classic Christmas movies of all time. Even though some critics argue today that Tim Burton has since lost touch with his direction after releasing remakes such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Planet of the Apes, Alice in Wonderland, and oftentimes cast Johnny Depp in the leading roles, Tim Burton nonetheless has become one of the most iconic and eccentric film directors of all time, with his different approach to directing that sets him apart from other film directors in Hollywood. When you first watch a Tim Burton film, the first thing you notice are the off-the-wall visuals, the bright colors, the strange characters, the designs, the blending of light and darkness. The look in all of his films work beautifully together. But when you look deeper inside those movies and get past the great visuals, the stories themselves are so personal and you feel a connection towards the characters. I think that's really important as an artist, whether you work in movies, music, or video games. When you have a great visual style, but at the same time have the story come across and touch so many people on a personal level, that's really an inspiring thing to me. With 16 movies under his name as a film director, Tim Burton is not finished yet by bringing his imaginative and quirky style on the big screen. This year in October, he will be releasing his adaptation of Frankenweenie, based on a short film he co-wrote and directed back in 1984. So be sure to watch it in theaters this year because it brings you back to Tim Burton's original stop-motion animated movies that first made him a standout director.